Yo, what's good guys? It's been a minute, I know. I'm actually going to be completely changing my schedule, taking way less clients so that I can have more time to make YouTube videos because we've damn near hit 100k, so I definitely owe it to you guys to be making more than one video a month, which is what it kind of feels like at the moment. But anyway, I'm back today with starting a streetwear brand episode 2. So in the first episode, all we had time to do was create the t-shirt designs. Someone commented on the last video saying everyone wants to run a brand now all of a sudden because they think it makes them instantly cool and rich. Now, it will definitely make you instantly cool. Don't let anyone tell you it won't. As for rich, there's no easy way to get rich anymore. That's just how the system works. So you have to be clever with the approach, because for me, when I was setting up my first few brands, I actually had a great amount of success for a very small amount of work. But this is because I found my niche. You can't compete with the millions of other people who think they can make a brand, but what you can do is be different from all of them. For me, I had this idea to dress up cartoon characters in modern streetwear, and then I would sell these minimalistically. Is that a word? I'm gonna say that's a word, alright? But that's the key word for me. That was the most important thing about my brand. You'll find all over eBay and other marketplaces that there's so much distasteful merchandise where people aren't thinking about the size of their prints. No. If you don't have the sauce, I'm not sure I can give you the sauce, to be honest. If you do have the sauce, then let's cook. Before we learn how to print our clothes, we're going to look at setting up our online shop. Now, I'm going to cover a few different ways to do this, some being completely free and others requiring a small fee. If you're doing this with no upfront investments like I am, then you could start with the free options and work your way up using the profits you generated from your first sales. We're going to be looking at creating e-commerce stores and using free social media / marketplace type apps to start building an online presence. There are so many ways to advertise and reach your target audience, but you need to know the basics first. But before we go any further, today's video is brought to you by Raid. If you haven't heard about this dark fantasy online multiplayer roleplay game, then you've probably been living in a hole. So get out of that hole and let me explain to you what this game is all about. Raid's basically all about the raiding, believe it or not. Level up your champions as you fight with your squads to defeat the evil that lurks. Now you guys are gonna like this one. Raid is free to play. It's available on mobile, tablet and your desktop. In Raid there are a ton of different factions. I just unlocked this rare siege breaker, so now my favorite faction has got to be the Ogrin tribe. Look at this guy, I'm scared of him and he's fighting for me. I have to say as a designer that I love the graphics of this game. It's very dark and immersive and doesn't feel like other video game apps. By the time you're watching this video, the brand new tag team arena will be live in the game. This is basically a more competitive PvP battle where you will be fighting 4 versus 4 best of 3 battles. Whilst tag team is new to the game, the devs are going to be giving away prizes to those ranking well, so you should probably go and give it a try. So if Raid looks like your kind of game, then go use the download link down below and you'll receive 100,000 silver and 1 free champion, the Hex Weaver, which is actually a mad champion to have if you're just starting out. These rewards will be found in the top right corner in your inbox, but be quick because these prizes are only redeemable for the next 30 days. Okay, back to the video. So, assuming you watched part 1, you should now have the designs at the ready. Whilst you've been waiting for part 2, a lot of you guys shared with me some of your designs. You've made some very cool designs, so round of applause community. In order to start selling our clothes, we need to make some good preview pictures for the listings. So let's take our Photoshop designs and put them onto some mock-up templates. You guys can download the mock-up template in the description. Make sure you keep the design file saved separately to the mock-up because we're going to need the raw file in order to print onto our clothes later. So by now I'm hoping you guys have come up with a name for your brand. If you haven't, then it's time to think of one. So it's time to get your products on the internet. Before I cover how to go about dealing with your first orders, aka printing and shipping, we need to create your online store so that people can start to find you. So for a startup streetwear company, you don't yet have an audience, meaning even if your clothes look amazing and they're good prices, you've got nobody to sell it to. This is where marketplace apps come in. There are millions of users on these platforms every day looking for unique and quirky pieces, and buyers generally feel safe on these marketplace apps as they are protected by PayPal when making payments. So all you have to do is open the account, link a PayPal or credit card, and start uploading your items. Depop is one of my favorite marketplace apps. A quick tip I have for Depop users is that you have to keep reposting. If you want your items to show up on people's explore page, then be prepared to keep editing your products and hit post listing. This should basically bring your products back up to the top of people's pages. Your tags are important too. Make it easy for people to find you. So there's loads of apps that are similar to Depop. I don't know which one's going to be best for you, so I'll leave some suggestions on the screen at the moment. They're all quite similar, so I don't think I need to go into detail with each one. I will, however, jump into eBay. This is probably the #1 place when it comes to potential traffic as a seller. Everyone uses eBay, and I have a few little tricks that I would have liked to know back when I was starting to sell my clothes on eBay. #1 is setting up product variations. This is very important and it increases your sales. So for example, when you upload a t-shirt design, why not make it a black and a white t-shirt and then let people pick? And #2 is that you can actually promote your listings via eBay in such a way where they bring your products right to the top of people's pages. What's cool about doing it through eBay is that they only charge you when you sell the product. This means that you really can't lose, because if nobody buys your promotion, then you just won't be charged. This is a good way to see if people want your merch without spending any upfront money on promotion. Aesthetic. I would usually recommend people buying studio lights in order to make their listings look more professional and less like a kid in his bedroom who's just selling secondhand clothes on his bed type thing, you know? But there's ways of doing this naturally. You could just take your clothes outside and take the pictures in the garden. It's going to make it look a lot more professional, and there's no better light than the sun, let's be honest. Remember to make your aesthetic unique. Always ask yourself, would I buy these items myself? And does my store look attractive enough to buy from? The product photos have got to be great and consistent and clean on the page, the logo's got to be nice, etc, etc. Another thing to mention is that when you first start getting sales, it's worth chasing up your buyers and asking them to leave you a nice review, as this really helps people to trust your store, especially when you're starting out and nobody knows about you. Shopify. Shopify is basically a tool that allows you to add an e-commerce store to your own website. This makes you look like a really professional business even if you're not. Now, whilst having your own website to make sales on is great because there's only a small fee deducted from each sale, so the profit is almost entirely your own, it does mean that nobody can naturally find you. You know, on Depop and eBay, people will find you when searching for things, but when you're all alone on your own website, it's up to you to bring the customers to you. But don't worry, there's lots of ways you can do this, such as using social media to create some hype and then linking people to the site. Or maybe if you're willing to invest some money, you can send out some of your clothes to an influencer who already has a big audience, so you can give them free clothes in exchange for a shout out on their platform. I'm going to leave Shopify there because it's quite a complex tool, but if you guys need more help creating brand awareness or hype, or maybe just learning how to use Shopify in general, then leave a comment down below and I might come back to this topic on part 3. And finally, printing, y'all. So we've designed our products, we've got them listed on a variety of different websites, we know how to promote them, we know what we're doing, the back end is linked, the PayPal and the credit cards are linked, so we're ready to start selling. Now, as soon as somebody clicks one of those items and puts it in their basket and checks out, the clock is ticking. You've got to get it to their door in great condition as quickly as possible for the lowest price. So how are you going to do this? How are we going to print and how are we going to ship it off, and how do you manage this process? What I personally did when I first started out is I used a local print shop near me. If you live close to any kind of city or a town, then there's usually going to be a print shop near you. So I went onto Google and I looked up all the print shops that were near me. I gave them all a call and I picked which one was going to fit best for me. I found one that would print high quality merch for me, joggers, hoodies, and all of it really, for great prices. I used my own blanks because I had a specific blank in mind and they were fine to do that. I could literally go in with a piece of paper, show them my design, and they'd do the rest for me. If this doesn't work, maybe you don't have any print shops near you, then there are some other online alternatives such as VISTAPRINT. This is a great way to be really lazy. You could literally sell one of your t-shirts, go on VISTAPRINT, you drag and drop your design on, and then you just get it delivered straight to the client's house. You don't even need to middleman it. Now, I found VISTAPRINT to be slightly more expensive than a local print shop would be. However, their quality is actually very impressive. The only thing that lets VISTAPRINT down, in my opinion, is that you don't have much room to get creative. You're limited to a small box to put in the middle of your t-shirt. You can't drag the design outside of this box. Whereas with a local print shop, you can go in and speak to the people, you can communicate your ideas, you could show them a sketch of what you're trying to create, and they could do it all for you. Printing yourself. There are a few types of printers you can invest in, from some real DIY methods if you don't want to spend a penny, and to be honest, some of these actually do give decent results, so definitely try them. Or you can of course buy some real equipment, go all out and get your own screen printer, but of course that's going to cost a little bit of money. What I like to do is set milestones, so work out how many sales you'll need to buy Shopify, then work out how much money you need to do an Instagram promotion, then work out how much money you need to get your first printer. This way you're always walking towards the next level level of your brand. The work required to doing all this isn't really as much as you think. What will determine your success is not how many hours you put into all the back end details, but basically the quality of your clothes. That's got to be the number one thing. And after that, it's going to be your ability to maintain your shop's vibe, the culture that it's part of, the aesthetic, and basically the hype. You get what I'm saying? The sauce. Like I said before, it's all about the sauce. Whether this is done via doing limited drops every few weeks or whatever, you got to keep people interested in waiting for your next release. Now, I hope this video has been informative for you guys. I know it took me so long to get part 2 out. You guys probably lost interest. For all of you that are following this tutorial and making your own online shops, I want you to go into the comments and link your shop, okay? I don't usually allow self-promotion in my comments, but this series is all about the community, so definitely share your stores with my viewers and check out some other people's down in the comments as well if you want to show the love back. That's been all from me today, guys. I hope to see you in my next video. We're almost at 100k, so I'm going to try and think of something nice to do for you guys to give back. Thank you all so much, honestly. 100k, that's an unreal number. I'm still letting that sink in, you know. Anyway, till next time, guys, peace.